Ready to talk dog food.
Always ready.
We're going deep on dog nutrition
I
today.
love it.
Using this article, 10 common mistakes dog owners make with their pet's diet.
Ah, good one. Lots to unpack.
I know, right? I learned a lot reading it. Like, even I make some of these mistakes.
I bet. It's easy to fall into bad habits, even for the most well-intentioned pet parents.
Totally. Okay, so mistake number 1 is portion control. I have to admit,
It's a biggie.
I'm guilty of eyeballing it, just scooping some kibble into the bowl.
Yeah, that's a recipe for trouble. You really need to measure the food.
Oh, for sure. Makes sense. Like, how would I feel if someone just guessed how much food I needed for the whole day?
Exactly. And dogs have different caloric needs, just like people do. It depends on their breed, size, age, activity level.
Yeah, tiny Chihuahua versus Great Dane, I get it. So how are we supposed to figure out exactly how much to give them?
Talk to your vet. They can help you figure out the right amount.
Good point.
And check the feeding guidelines on the dog food bag, too.
Right. But those are just guidelines.
Yeah, you got to adjust based on your dog's individual needs, right? If you got a super active dog, they'll need more calories.
Makes sense. All right, so we're measuring the food. Next step, this one surprised me, probiotics.
Probiotics.
I take them, but I never thought about them for my dog.
Well, it turns out they can be super helpful for dogs, too.
Really?
Yeah, it's all about gut health,
Yeah.
right?
So just like us humans.
Probiotics help keep the good bacteria in their system balanced so their tummies are happy.
Makes sense.
They can help with digestion and nutrient absorption, even boost their immune system.
Wow, I didn't realize it was so important for dogs.
Oh, it is.
So are we talking about giving them the same probiotics I take, or is there a special kind for dogs?
Definitely go for dog-specific probiotics.
Oh, okay.
They're formulated with different strains of bacteria that are beneficial for their gut.
Interesting. Okay, next up. This one we probably all know, but worth repeating.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Table scraps. Those puppy eyes, man, they get me every time.
It's so tempting.
But I know no good for them.
Nope, not really.
Yeah.
Can lead to weight gain, nutritional imbalances.
Right. And there's certain things they just can't eat, right? Like chocolate, grapes, onions.
Absolutely. Some human foods can be toxic for them.
Scary stuff. So best to stick to, like, proper dog food and healthy dog treats.
Yeah, things that are actually made for their nutritional needs.
Gotcha. Okay, so while we're talking about all this food, what about their water? How important is it to give them fresh water all the time?
Oh, super important.
Really?
Water is, like, essential for everything, right?
True. I need water.
Digestion, nutrient absorption, temperature regulation, the whole 9 yards.
Okay, I'm picturing myself only having stale water all day. Not a good feeling.
Exactly. So make sure their bowl is always full of fresh water.
Got it. I'll admit I don't change it as often as I should. Note to self, change the water. Okay, so next up, we got to talk about how dogs need different food throughout their lives, right? Like puppies need different stuff than adults.
Yeah, just like humans. Different life stages, different nutritional needs. Growing pups need different fuel than, a senior dog.
It's like a human teenager versus like their grandparents, right? Totally different diet.
Exactly. So yeah, make sure you're picking food that's formulated for their age. It's super important for their development and health.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, what happens when you need to switch your dog's food? Say you want to change brands or something. Can you just, do it overnight?
Oh, no, that's a bad idea. Sudden changes in their diet can really mess with their stomach. You got to transition gradually.
Oh, so mix the new food with the old food and slowly increase the amount.
Exactly. Over a week to 10 days or so.
Good tip. It's kind of like how we feel after changing our diets, right?
Yeah.
It can be rough on the system.
Exactly. They need time to adjust. Okay, this next one hits close to home for me because my dog has some sensitivities. We're talking food allergies.
Ah, yeah. Food allergies.
It's way more common than people think, and it can really make your dog miserable.
Oh, for sure. Itchy skin, upset stomach, the whole deal.
Yeah, those are some of the classic signs. Basically, their immune system overreacts to something in their food, and it causes inflammation.
So, if my dog is constantly scratching or having tummy troubles, it could be their food.
Could be. Definitely something to consider. If you suspect your dog might have a food allergy, talk to your vet. They can help figure out the best course of action, whether that's like a special diet or allergy testing.
Good to know. Now, treats. We all love giving our pups treats.
No, they deserve it.
But I'm guessing there's such a thing as too many treats.
There is.
Right.
Treats should be treats, not their main food source.
So, how much is too much?
The general rule of thumb is to keep treats to no more than 10% of their daily calorie intake.
Oh, so it could really add up if you're not careful. I never thought about that.
It's like us eating dessert all day long. not good for the waistline or their overall health.
Right, right. Throws off their nutritional balance. Okay, so we've covered what to avoid, but how do we choose the right dog food in the first place? I mean, I read food labels for myself, but I haven't really thought about doing that for my dog.
That's where a lot of people go wrong. You really should be reading those labels. Make sure the first few ingredients are good quality protein sources, not fillers or byproducts.
Fillers, what are those exactly?
Basically, ingredients with like zero nutritional value. They bulk up the food and make it cheaper to produce, but don't actually do anything good for your dog.
So we should be looking for, like, real meat, whole ingredients as much as possible.
Exactly. The more you know about what's in your dog's food, the better choices you can make for them.
Okay, I'm definitely going to start reading those labels more carefully now. This whole conversation has me thinking about their food bowl in a whole new light.
That's what we want. We want you to feel empowered to make informed decisions about your dog's diet. It's one of the most important things you can do for their health and happiness.
All right, so we've talked about what to avoid, but what about adding things? Do some dogs need, like, supplements?
Great question. And yes, some dogs might benefit from supplements.
We talked a bit about probiotics. Are those something every dog should be taking?
Probiotics can be great for many dogs, not just those with tummy issues. But, like with anything, it's best to talk to your vet before adding any supplements to their diet. They can help you figure out what's best for your individual pup.
So it's all about individualized care, just like with our own health, right?
Exactly. No two dogs are the same, so their dietary needs will be different too.
This is all great information. I feel like I'm already starting to understand things a lot better.
I'm glad to hear that. And there's more to come.
Oh, there is?
Yeah. In the next segment, we're going to talk about how to tell if your dog is actually responding well to changes in their diet and when it's time to call in the professionals.
Ooh, okay. I'm definitely sticking around for that.
It's going to be good. We'll be right back after a quick break.
Stay tuned, everyone. We're back and ready to keep talking all things dog food.
And all things dog health.
Right. We've talked about those common mistakes, but now the big question. How do we know if what we're doing, like, actually working?
You got to be a detective.
A detective?
Yeah, dog detective. Look for clues.
Ooh, I like this. Okay, I'm ready. What clues should we be looking for?
We'll start with the obvious. Their digestion.
Digestion, right?
Poop. Are they regular? Are their poops, a good consistency?
So that means, like, if I switched their food or started giving them a new supplement and their poop changed, that's a clue.
Poopy.
Interesting. Okay, what about energy levels?
Huge one. Healthy dogs should have plenty of energy, right?
Yeah, my dog, when he's not feeling well, he's like a total couch potato.
Exactly. If you notice they're suddenly way less active or they just seem, kind of lethargic, would be a sign something's off with their diet.
Got it. What about their coat? I've heard that a shiny coat means a healthy dog, right?
Yeah. There's some truth to that. A healthy coat should be shiny, smooth, not shedding too much.
So if, like, their fur starts looking dull or they're shedding like crazy, that's another clue.
Exactly.
Okay, so we're checking their poop, their energy, their coat. Anything else?
Well, think about anything unusual.
Unusual. Okay.
Like, are they suddenly drinking or peeing more? Gaining weight, losing weight, changes in appetite.
So basically any big change from what's normal for them.
Yeah. Could be a sign something's up. And of course, when in doubt, always talk to your vet.
Right, because sometimes it's hard to know what's normal, what's not.
Mm.
You mentioned earlier that diet can play a role in, like, some of the common health problems dogs have. Can we talk more about that?
Absolutely. Like, take obesity.
Oh, yeah. Big problem these days. Just like with people.
It's a huge problem for dogs. And it can lead to, like, a whole cascade of other issues. Joint pain, heart disease, even certain types of cancer.
Wow, I knew it was bad, but I didn't realize it was connected to all that.
It's all connected, right? Think about it. Extra weight, it puts stress on their joints, their heart has to work harder. It can even mess with their hormones.
So keeping them at a healthy weight is really important.
Super important. And a good diet isn't just about preventing obesity. It can also help boost their immune system, keep their brains sharp, even reduce allergies.
This is making me think about my dog's food in a whole new way. It's not just about, like, filling their bowl. It's about, like, making choices that could actually help them live longer, healthier lives.
Exactly.
So, okay, we've talked about watching for signs of problems, how diet affects their health. What's next? Like, how do we actually put all this info into action?
Work with your vet. They're your best resource.
Yeah.
They can help you figure out a personalized nutrition plan for your dog. One that takes into account their breed, age, activity level, any health issues they have.
Like a personal nutritionist, but for your dog.
Exactly. And they can help you figure out if your dog needs supplements, what kind, and they can navigate you through all the different dog food options out there.
So finding a vet who really gets nutrition is key.
Absolutely. They're your partner in helping your dog thrive.
Well, we've covered a ton in this segment, from spotting problems to the big picture impact of diet on their health. What's coming up next?
We're going to get specific, talking about how to actually work with your vet, create that personalized nutrition plan, kibble, raw, homemade, we'll talk about it all, and answer any questions you might have about supplements.
All right, looking forward to that. Okay, so we're back, and I got to say, my brain is full of dog food knowledge right now.
That's what we like to hear.
It's a lot to take in,
Yeah.
but it's fascinating. I mean, who knew there was so much to think about when it comes to feeding our dogs?
Right. It's not just about filling their bowl and calling it a day.
Exactly. So let's talk about putting this knowledge into action, working with a vet to create a personalized nutrition plan like we talked about. What does that actually look like?
Well, first things first, you got to have a good conversation with your vet.
Okay, a conversation. Got it.
Tell them everything, their breed, age, how active they are, what their lifestyle is like, any health issues.
So it's about painting a complete picture of the dog.
Exactly. And the vet will do a physical exam too, see what kind of shape they're in. And then based on all that, they can start making recommendations about what kind of food is best.
All right, so let's talk food types, because there's a lot of options out there. You've got kibble, which seems like the most popular.
Yeah, kibble's definitely the most common.
But then there's raw feeding and homemade diets, too. How do you even know which one's right for your dog?
Honestly, there's no one right answer.
That's not what I wanted to hear.
I know. But it really does depend on the individual dog and, your lifestyle too.
So can you, break down each type, pros and cons? Maybe that'll help us make sense of it all.
Sure. Kibble, like you said, it's super convenient, it's affordable, it lasts forever in the pantry, and there are so many different formulas out there.
Yeah, there's like a kibble for everything these days.
Exactly. But the downside is it can be pretty processed, sometimes has fillers and artificial ingredients.
So we really got to read those labels like we talked about.
Absolutely. Now, raw feeding, that's a whole other ballgame. People who are into raw feeding, they believe that a diet of raw meat, bones, organs, that's the most natural way to feed a dog.
I've heard about that, but it seems a little intimidating, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, it's definitely more work. You got to make sure the diet's balanced. You got to be really careful handling raw meat. So it's not for everyone.
Okay, got it. What about homemade diets?
Homemade can be great, especially if your dog has allergies or sensitivities. But again, you got to do your research, work with your vet, make sure you're giving them everything they need.
So there's really no easy answer, huh?
Nope.
That's why talking to the vet is so important.
Exactly. They can help you weigh the pros and cons and figure out what makes the most sense for your pup. Okay, so we've talked about the main types of food, but we got to talk supplements too.
Right. We keep mentioning those.
Yeah.
So how do you know if your dog even needs supplements, and what kind are we talking about?
Well, supplements can be helpful, but they're not a replacement for a good diet, right? Some common ones that vets recommend are probiotics, those omega-3 fatty acids, things for their joints, multivitamins.
Probiotics, and we keep coming back to those. Can you just remind us one more time why they're so important for dogs?
Sure. They help keep the gut healthy, which, like we've been saying, is super important for so many things. Digestion, nutrient absorption, even their immune system. They can be especially helpful for dogs who have digestive issues, allergies, or if they've been on antibiotics recently.
Right, makes sense. So if we're thinking about giving them supplements, best to check with the vet, yeah.
Always. They'll make sure it's the right choice for your dog and won't interact with any medications they're taking.
Well, this has been amazing. Seriously, so informative. I feel like I'm walking away with a whole new understanding of dog nutrition.
That's fantastic to hear. Knowledge is power, right?
Absolutely. So to wrap things up, what's your one big piece of advice for our listeners who want to, level up their dog's diet?
Be an advocate for your dog. Do your research, talk to your vet, make informed choices about their food. You're their voice when it comes to their health and well-being.
I love that. Be an advocate for your dog.
Yeah.
All right, folks, we've reached the end of our deep dive, and I hope you found it as helpful as I did. If you did, share it with your dog-loving friends. Spread the word about how important good nutrition is for our furry buddies. Until next time, keep those tails wagging and those bowls filled with healthy goodness.